Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome to Jacrano and Magic.
That's us. I'm your host, Mr. Magic, and that's Jacrano, and we're the evil twins of Jacrano
That's
and
right.
Magus.
We are
We're here to
indeed
ruin
that.
everything. We're not even in Jacrano's house.
We aren't.
Like they normally would be, because they're not us.
Hopefully you can't tell the difference in sound, but if you can, because you're a keen-eared individual.
Or you work in radio.
Yes, we're in the radio studio right now
We've
because
stolen everything.
because I have no floor in my house right now.
It's true.
It is currently under construction.
Yay. Even in your room? I haven't seen it yet.
Well, no, but it's just annoying generally having the smell of ripped up floorboards and whatnot, you know.
Yeah.
Stuff that
Doesn't sound
bothers
like
people like Jacrano and Magic.
Magic would not take it, because I am Magic, the
Yes,
evil twin.
exactly.
I would not be able to handle a poor smell when I'm trying to record. I have a very specific mindset I need to be in.
Exactly.
And that's why we're in a completely different location.
Completely different
We're not
location.
even sitting next to each other. We're facing
We're
each other
staring
now.
each other down.
This
Normally
is
we're like side
messed
by
up.
side rubbing shoulders.
Normally it's all cute and stuff, but now it's like professional and I hate it.
Oh, it's the worst. Stop tapping the table. They can hear that now.
Gotta get my water.
He's getting his water. He's run away from the microphone.
We have
See, this is the problem,
sliding-
is I can't keep you like pinned down to the microphone anymore.
Sure. We have sliding chairs now, so I can really
Yes.
just slide wherever I want. Have a good old time. Now...
Who is this?
I don't know. That's the problem. We've jumped into a scene. We're on the baseball pitch. We're having a good old time, and someone is speaking. Hey there.
Yes. Hey there.
Hey there. How are you guys doing in the heat?
Oh! That's points,
That's
right?
points. It's close enough. I knew he was there, even if it wasn't him speaking.
How many points is that?
I think that's how many lines was it? Can we run the numbers?
That's 2 SER points.
2 SER points.
Yes, so 2 points.
Excellent. 2 points for us. So that was me on apparently, and now I get to do crazy voices, and I'm pretty sure the people outside can hear us. This is great.
I actually have no idea if they can hear us outside the studio.
I hope
it's
they
meant
can.
to be soundproof, but I don't know if the
I don't
mics
think
like
it is.
feed back to the speakers out there.
I've definitely heard hosts in here from out there.
Yeah. And we are louder than most of the
We
hosts
are
that use this
very
room.
loud. It's true. Okay.
Carry on.
Oh, Mion-san. They're doing good. Is that refreshments? Oh, thanks a bunch. You're such a great manager, is what I said.
What? What are you on about? What a good start.
You're such a great manager. Oh,
I just felt like coming here.
Ah.
I didn't bring this for you, by the way.
oh, that's a shame.
Don't treat me as your manager without my permission, please.
So snarky. Mion, if that
Oh
is
my
your real
god,
name.
it's a new sprite. Quick.
Oh, he's such a
Let's-
cutie. He's
how do
got
I-
his
there we
little
go.
uniform on.
My god, there's so much
And it
delay
says,
on this laptop
Inamizawa.
when I hit the sprites button. Normally it's like instant, but this is like
It's like a moment. It's a moment
Hours
of
of
tension
delay.
of like, does it work?
he still has consistently the best looking new sprite.
It's true. It's true.
Blessed Satoshi.
Satoshi looking like a good boy. I have also noticed that we have Hinamizawa written on the sleeve in the old sprite, then the new one is just a big old H. That we can see at least.
Carry on.
All right. Oi, we'd be a stronger team if you were our manager, Mion.
Oh shucks.
Oi, why don't you apply? Oh, as manager, I mean.
Excellent question. Satoshi-kun smiled at me in a carefree manner. Is that how that smile looks to you?
That's it to me. The cute, blushing,
Such a
carefree
cute little
manner.
blushy smile. I didn't want to become their manager. It'd be tiresome. Been coming every week though, so I'm a quasi-manager already. How many weeks has it been? We can't have these things off screen. We have to have every moment on camera.
Many
As much
weeks.
slice of life as possible.
That's what I'm here for, not the murder.
No murder.
All right? No murder, please.
Well, if I feel like it. Anyway, how's Satoshi-kun doing, coach? Is his batting average improving? If you know what I mean.
Oh! Yeah. Oh, he's doing fine, if you know what I mean. His batting average is, well, if you buy 3 packs of rice crackers at 7 Smart. What? What?
What?
What? I don't understand.
I do not understand
That's
at
a
all.
reference to something I don't understand.
Does that mean it's 30%? What?
Does that mean it's 30%? What?
Are they saying that,
Are they saying that they're 10 cents each? Is that how much a rice cracker pack
I
is?
have
Is that
no clue.
That's my guess.
I'm incredibly confused.
Okay.
I'm sure there's some.
I can't wait for it to be like the Kermit the Frog one from Arc 4 where I was like, who's this green frog character? It was just Kermit. the whole time.
No, that wasn't even the reference.
Wasn't it Kermit the Frog?
No, it was some orange-haired character who I still can't remember the name
Oh
of.
god, now I've forgotten. No, it's Ernie. Sorry, right? You know, I don't even
Ernie
know.
from the Muppets?
One of them. Oh no, that's Sesame Street. Oh god, I am tired. Point is, we're in a new office, ladies and gentlemen. It's fun in here.
Yeah, blame the
It's
office.
30%. Yeah.
Ugh.
Sesame Street.
Wow,
Muppets, same
you're
thing.
doing great, Satoshi-kun.
Why, thank you. I mean, why, thank you. It's not just about the number, Mia. No, I have to be able to hit the ball when it really counts.
If you know what I mean.
If you know it. Oh, that's inappropriate. Yeah, it's good that you're aware of your weaknesses,
If you know what I mean.
Satoshi-kun. If you know what I mean, you'll just continue working on them for now.
Jazzy tunes continuing. Irie signaled to the pitcher, who then threw the ball. Satoshi-kun looked calm, following the ball with his eyes. Then he swung.
Excellent.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's like I'm really there.
Indeed.
Thwack!
Thwack. The ball flew between the first and second bases and landed in the distance.
Nice.
Wow. That's great. Good job, Satoshi-kun. I clapped. And Satoshi-kun blushed in response.
As if he ever stopped
He
blushing,
repositioned his helmet, if you know what I mean, to hide his face.
if you know what I mean. This is inappropriate.
This is very inappropriate.
Satoshi is too pure a boy for all this innuendo.
Who said that this was innuendo?
Phil?
I was merely commenting on people's actual knowledge of the game of baseball.
Phil? Here he's having none of this. He's like...
That's right. I can just turn Irie down if he's annoying me.
Wow. I can't believe you would do that to me. Can they even hear me now?
They can hear you now.
Good. Phil? He's good in practice, and when the game is slow...
Irie smiled compassionately. It seemed that Satoshi-kun really couldn't perform well when it counted.
If you know what I mean. Inappropriate.
While he was usually good when everybody expected him to perform, he couldn't. I didn't think it was because of nervousness. He just couldn't do it.
Did we actually do this on purpose? do you think?
Absolutely. Has the tone of this scene just gone over your head?
No, I know. I feel like maybe Ryukishi didn't mean any of this because Satoshi is a good boy who we don't associate with anything inappropriate. He's not a pervert like Keiichi, you know. He's like the opposite.
Are you calling Keiichi a pervert?
Yes.
Okay, good.
He is. He's okay with that fact. There are numerous like scenes where the plot point of the scene is that Keiichi is a pervert. He's okay with it.
I think it's a perfect fit for Satoshi-kun's character. He seems calm at first glance, but he's actually slow.
There you go.
Numerically speaking, you're a great player.
Uh-huh.
But you need to be able to hit the ball even when things get serious. This doesn't seem like Mion. Yeah, this has got to be Coach, right?
Oh, I guess it must be. It's strange. It's strange these sprite isn't on screen.
I know, it's so weird. Maybe it is me. I keep saying Mion again, don't I?
It's Mion. It's Mion, isn't it? That's who's in the scene right now. That's what they're all calling it, right?
I don't
Shion's just at home.
like, I don't even find it that challenging to like differentiate in thought process, but because they keep saying Mion in the scene, that's just where my head's at.
Well, there you go. You got to keep track of it.
It's such a
It's
brilliant
alright.
deception.
I know. I know, Felix. You have trouble keeping track of details like this.
Exactly.
that's your character flaw, not mine. What? Where are you going? I think that is Shion actually, right?
Or Mion?
Or Mion.
Uh-huh.
I think it's Shmion. I think you were right. I think that is Shmion. That little.
Does
spiel
that mean
there.
we get points?
I think we do get points
many
for
points?
guessing correctly. I think
2
we
SER
get
points. Well done.
2. I was gonna say 4.
Gotta lean
one
back
for
from the
each line.
microphone. You can't abuse this professional
2.
radio equipment with your improper microphone technique.
I can't help it. I'm so used to not having to worry about it because I got you to cover for me. Oh, shut up. I know that. If he'd been able to hit the person, he would have been a hero. What a shame.
Is this bullying?
Wow. Is definitely bullying.
A hit could have put the offense into the lead, or at least given them an extension. That was when Satoshi-kun came up to bat. Irie wanted him to live up to everybody's expectations.
But he didn't.
But statistically, that wasn't likely to happen.
Because he's a dumb.
How dare you say such things?
He's a cute though.
I thought we were meant to be being positive and...
I am positive. He's a cute dumb.
Yet Irie insisted on giving him a chance in spite of the fact that all the team members had suggested a pinch hitter.
Also, I thought you forgot I am the evil twin Magic today. Thus,
Oh,
I can
you're
say
right.
terrible
Sorry.
things
It's
about
Magic
Satoshi.
and Jukrano.
Magic and Jukrano. That's us. Yeah.
Could you imagine knowing about the show but not knowing that we were different people?
Dude.
On the same channel?
If you're joining us today for the very first time. I am magic.
He's telling the truth.
And that's Shikrano, and you should
There's
you should
nothing
trust
strange
me.
going on
Nothing
here.
strange going
It's
on.
your line.
There is no conspiracy. Oh, it would have been perfect. No, it's not my line.
Why
It's
did he
Shion's
appear
line.
on screen?
Because he's such a shy boy that he doesn't have any lines.
I've had it with this.
You
I've
get 2
had
points.
it.
2 SER points.
2 SER points. Why didn't you? Why can't you hit the ball in a situation when it really matters, if you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, there's nothing I could do. I know I'm weak in situation like that. I thought a pinch hitter was a better idea too.
It's not about the match, it's about you, Satoshi-kun.
What?
Ugh. You need to be more aggressive. Shouldn't you have thought the opposite way?
B-E, aggressive.
Shouldn't you have insisted that you'd come up to bat no matter what everyone else said?
Yes, Satoshi.
I can't believe you wanted to give away the chance to some pinch hitter. I can't believe you wanted to win the game, you piece of trash.
How could you?
Why are you so weak like that, if you know what I mean?
That's what I'm always telling him. Yeah, I know that's fun of his good points too, but
You can't be a gentleman at other times when playing games. You should be a demon. I think all men should have those two sides to them. You need to let your demon out, Satoshi-kun. You're native to Hinamizawa, so never forget that you have the demon's blood running through your veins.
yeah.
Are you listening?
Go
Satoshi-kun?
get that bat out and whack that ball to death. I mean,
If you know what I mean.
if you know what I mean. I am. I'm not sure, but
What aren't you sure about? We're talking about you, if you know what I mean. So, whoa, if you know what I mean. Satoshi-kun suddenly started stroking my head. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
He
Yep,
looked
absolutely.
delighted for some reason.
I know what you
A
mean.
blush immediately spread across my face. I didn't know how to respond.
You're giving me advice, right? Oh, thanks. I'll do my best.
Fucking better. Hey, don't you try to fool me.
I'm not. I'm just happy that you care about me. If you know what I mean.
Oh, I couldn't resist his hand.
What?
I couldn't help mumbling like he does. Satoshi-kun ran back to the field, leaving me red as a beet.
Do you feel good when you have your head soaked?
Irie. I would say never change, but please change.
No, never change. Irie, best boy. So innocent.
Depends. If it were you, I'd have to teach you a new martial arts technique.
Ah, what a shame. All right, everyone, gather round. Why don't you split in 2 groups and have a practice match?
Because trusting kids to do that is unruly and
Yeah, just let them do whatever they want, and it'll be fine.
bad
No
idea.
discipline needed.
Hinamizawa fighters are sort of a lazy team.
Sounds like it.
The members gather simply to enjoy playing baseball, not to fight for victory. How dare you enjoy sports?
That's rude.
The Okonomiya Titans use this field too, but they practice on a different day of the week. They always train hard using dumbbells and stuff.
Why dumbbells? Like,
Because
that's
it-
the one thing.
Because that's
What do you need to succeed in life? A dumbbell.
well, that's the next
it.
logical round object up from a baseball.
I see.
They just stand there on the pitch and just like hurl
Hurl them
dumbbells at each other.
At each other, and you
Yeah.
have to catch them, and if you miss, it's like way more punishing than if you had missed catching a ball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rather than just having first aid on stuff, they have the full ambulance.
I see.
Like
just in
there's just a
case.
hospital right next door.
Yeah. Don't want to be training in the mud. That's when the ambulance gets stuck in the mud and you have to push it out of the mud. That sucks. Speaking from personal experience, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, we had a rugby match once where it was raining, it was pouring rain, and they're not supposed to, like, I think they're supposed to call them off, but they didn't. And yeah, some dude, like, he broke his leg on the field and the ambulance got stuck trying to, like, get out of the mud. And we all had to go in and, like, push the ambulance out of the muck because it just couldn't get out. It was messed up and crazy and weird. That's why you don't play rugby at a private school.
It's also why you
dangerous.
don't bring a very heavy vehicle like an ambulance onto
the
a
field?
field of mud.
Yes, you keep it like just off the field. On the road, there was a road like, I don't know, 20 meters to the side. They could have just slid it there, but there was, otherwise you have to carry them through the mud, I guess, and that's not fun. It's too much to travel. Too much work, really. But yeah.
Still one of my favorite rugby plays of all time. There's a school here in Sydney that did this thing in, I think it was the 80s when Skylab, like one of the previous space stations, was up, and it was like, it was being, decommissioned at the time, and there was some bullshit report around that it was going to like fall from the sky. And
Cool.
so what this rugby
Sounds like
team
fun.
did is
Yeah.
they grabbed the ball. One person on the other side of the field pointed up at the sky and yelled, "Skylab!" And someone else tucked the ball under their shirt and just ran to the far end of the field while everyone was looking up, then pulled it out from under their shirt and just scored.
Is that legal?
Definitely not.
That's pretty brilliant.
It's a black screen. Our team split into 2 groups and started a match, retaining their loose atmosphere. I'll keep track of the score. Coach, do you have a pencil?
Thanks for helping out. Here.
I took the pencil and the clipboard. I didn't know how to differentiate between recording hits and errors at first, but by now I was used to it.
Hits and errors? You mean like strikes and balls?
I
Is
don't
that what
know.
she means?
I didn't play baseball.
Should have played baseball. It's a good sport.
I should have. Show me what you've got, Satoshi-kun.
Show me what you got.
I was hoping to bait something else out of you there, but okay.
What were you looking for?
If you know what I mean.
I don't know. Oh. I'm sorry. I got Rick and Morty on the brain, okay? I had to think about
Is that from Rick and Morty? I had no idea what that...
you got. Yeah, there's an episode where like these giant floaty heads
Oh,
come
the
in. They're
giant
like, "Show
head
me."
thing, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, "We'll show them all of our mathematical equations," but they actually want them to just like play a song, and that's the episode.
Right.
It's a good one. It's a good episode, you know.
Definitely not my ballpark.
It's a fun time. Go watch Rick and Morty.
Maybe it'll be too
Hashtag
much.
Not a sponsor.
Maybe it'll be too much pressure if I cheer for you too excessively. Just do okay then.
Oh, yeah. That doesn't sound very encouraging either.
Do your best. Time passed slowly that Sunday. Huge white clouds appeared in the sky. They made me feel healthy. Humans are born to be active under the sun.
It's true.
It is true.
Indisputable fact, if you know what I mean.
Unquestionable. One of the parents was acting as umpire today, so Irie sat on the bench with me. He shouted words of encouragement to the kids while they ran to their positions. Any other baseball coach would constantly berate them, but he was much more generous, like a kindergarten teacher. He let the kids have fun while watching over them. To other baseball players, it might look a little naive. I'm surprised you guys can do well with only a small amount of practice.
Kids in Hinamizawa run around every day. So, the amount of exercise they get surpasses that of the city kids. Besides, too much training is not always effective.
That's nonsense. You need to be there grinding in the gym 24
Every
hours
day.
a day.
Every single day. Don't even sleep. Just go out and do more pumps and
Just
lifts.
flex it.
Just flex for days and you will be like me.
Exactly.
Big and strong like me. Yes. Oh. Don't think you're delicious.
Oh, wow, you think completely different from the Uishi Titans. I can understand why their coach hates you.
Oh no. No, it's the police team that are the Uishi team. We can't give more characters to the Uishi voice.
But
It'll kill me.
But it is the Kinomiya police station that he's
You're
from.
right, you're right.
So
Maybe
it's
that's what's
just
happening
the police
there.
team.
It's just the younger, yeah, it's the police guys just, they take off their uniforms, they put on the baseball, and then off they go.
I'm sorry, they take off their uniforms and then what?
And then they put on their baseball uniforms.
Right, I thought you were just saying that they just glue
Attach
baseballs to their
baseballs.
nips
No.
and just run out in the fields.
I mean, that's the dream, right? It's not about being fights. Matches exist for some fun to win, after all. So prioritizing victory certainly isn't wrong. I think it's admirable to aim for victory together, but the goal of our team doesn't happen to be victory, that's all.
The Hinamizawa fighters and the Kinomiya Titans had been rivals for a long time. Both teams shared the same baseball field, for one thing. And originally there was only one team, but the people living in Hinamizawa left and made their own. Anyhow, we were rivals.
I will say, if my rugby team had taken the mindset that we were just playing for fun and not trying to win, we would have had a much easier time. I don't think we won more than one game a season. We were garbage.
I feel like that goes for just most sports teams, amateur sports teams in general.
Yeah, we were the nerdiest, weakest kids, but we went out there and we did it, and we were like, we're gonna win this one. Nope. We won one match.
Consistently, the worst basketball team at my high school was the one team where literally 3 people would be on the court playing and everyone else would literally just be walking around in threes together, just chatting while the game was going on.
I remember doing that.
And they were the only team that didn't have some internal drama going on.
For sure. Because they're just not about the game.
Exactly.
Just focus on having a good time. You know?
That said, doesn't mean you shouldn't try. I don't want my students to hear this recording and just give up.
Try for the things that you care about. And the
Try
things
for
that you might
everything.
care about. I mean, look, you don't have to try for baseball. Let's be real.
The Academy at Titans was strictly about winning, and the Hinamizawa fighters were just about having fun. Surprisingly, our scores weren't that different, which meant our team had something they didn't. Even though I couldn't put it into words, I knew what made that happen. Was it the canned human meat?
I think so. That puts the real blood in your veins, the real human blood.
Can we get the old... There we go.
Thank you, Flex. Ranger Chrono.
Hey, Team 1! No slacking. You're right, this is the Flex and Herd studio, but we are in fact Jacrano and Magic.
I know, completely different characters.
Ugh.
This is garbage.
I really hope the person that made that comment gets to this point in the series and understands how much we loved that comment.
Well, I know that they're listening to our Umineko playthrough, so maybe they'll come around to Higurashi. Who knows?
Shout out to you.
Shout out to you. We love you.
We loved it. Hey, Team 1, no slacking. You can make up the 2-point difference pretty easily. Team 2, no slacking either. You can stop that 2 points being made up pretty easily.
It's true.
Still, some parents would criticize our coach for being too lenient, but still others would strongly agree with him. Which side would I take? The latter, I couldn't really say for sure. The reason for this was that Iria had an obnoxious habit of sexual harassment.
There you go. Not that that's a problem or anything in a Ryukishi novel.
I feel like the intent of this line was so much more innocent than the way it reads.
I feel like, I don't know if I put this on the translation team or if it's just a cultural thing.
Well, I think
Sexual
that
harassment, maybe not the right term.
given what we've seen from Irie so far, it's not terribly misplaced, but it's more like, it seems more like everyone's on board banter.
Everyone's in on the joke.
Which, like, you know, as a coach, as one of my jobs, like, I still wouldn't even go this far, even if everyone was in on it.
I was gonna say, you don't use sexual harassment at your coaching job, Flex? Yeah.
Can we just blank that out?
Cut that bit. Cut it.
Replace that with habit of incompetence. There we go.
There you go. Done.
Particularly had a fascination with incompetence, but I should talk about that some other time.
Wow. You're just blotting out Iria's love of all things
censorship.
culture.
That's what we're all about
Trying
here.
to censor his great culture of his love of maids.
That's the evil of Jacrano and Magic.
It is. That's what we're known for. It's like the only difference. We just censor way too much.
Satoshi couldn't let the ball pass twice to see its trajectory, then hit it on the third pitch and ran to first base. Now, I'm not sure whether that's like a normal baseball thing to do or whether they're trying to make a comment on like, oh, he's just such a, calm-tempered guy.
Right? Like he knows, he can play the game occasionally, right? He knows how to play baseball.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying I don't know if that's an actual baseball tactic. Oh, he did it. He's so good when he's relaxed.
What? It's the beginning. First the word. No, he used to get tired very easily. Aha! He's improved quite a lot since then.
Once again with the laughing after the button press.
It's excellent. I love it. I wish they would just put it at the side of the line. Or in the middle.
It really does look like a bookworm. I wonder why he started playing baseball in the first place. Well, the other kids who joined the baseball team love baseball. They'd go out to play in the fields outside of practice. That's what they all had an aptitude for it, rather.
Attitude too.
That's true. Well, apparently not, because this is the Slack team. That's what we've just been reading.
They explicitly have the aptitude, but not the attitude.
Yes.
Whereas the Oishi Titans have the attitude, but not the aptitude.
Exactly.
That's why they're such a good fit.
But Sis never said that Satoshi couldn't exercise as intensively in school or anywhere else. He only likes to read. I don't know. I feel like if I'd been more on the ball, I would have inserted some gag there about he never studies, he never exercises intensively in school or anywhere else. But in the ocean, that man tear you up and down a pool like nothing else.
Dude, I hope that's his secret talent. I was going to say that he likes to exercise his eyes.
Am I just like completely deluded in saying this? Or was Renner's incident that we heard about in Arc 1, did that begin in the school gym or the school pool? I have it in my head that it was the pool.
Some sport-related area.
It was definitely sport-related because, like, that was obviously a thematic carryover there, but I don't remember how much it matched.
I don't know. Guess we'll find out.
Have to go back and check.
Check the books, check the logs, check,
Yes,
the,
that's
check
right.
the notes.
That's why I didn't understand why he started playing for this team to begin with.
Because he felt like it.
It's because Irie's here.
It's true. Because they're best buds.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're best of friends.
I'm sure there's going to be no suspicious connection between them later on down the line.
No suspicious
Absolutely
anything.
none whatsoever.
I haven't seen anything suspicious around Satoshi at all. Or Irie. They're both just such lovely people. What?
I think you're lying to me.
I'm just telling you, they're good people. That's because I invited him. See, they're just good buds.
Very unsuspicious.
They're just best buds.
Is that so? You recruited him. Did you notice some sort of hidden talent?
Oh, wait. Is him? Is some other random person?
I have no clue.
Is it just some, like, kid? You know, I'm going to give it Aria's voice and we'll find out. Excuse me, could I have a cup of barley tea? Oh, thank you. There we go. Nailed it. I wasn't sure it was like some kid had come up like,
Such a strange non sequitur.
It was very strange. I mean, he did ask in a suspicious manner.
Exactly. Someone's looking in the studio window. Okay, they've gone. They saw me looking back at them.
Was
and
it
they
someone
left.
that we know?
I didn't see who it was.
I should chase him down. Tackle him.
Well, he constantly
Force him
joked
to
around. I
come
knew
in
he
here
was
and
actually a
listen to
very mature person. I assumed he was trying to evade my question. Is there a particular reason? Irie pretended he didn't hear me, but I pressed him on it. In response, he shrugged and began answering the question. Here we go.
I think you might be able to guess.
Is it because he has Hinamizawa syndrome and you're trying to cure him and you need him close at hand?
Obviously.
Obviously.
That's obviously what it is.
What would be Mion Sonozaki's guess? I quickly searched through the data I had on Satoshi-kun. Hold up, Irie, let me just pull up my notes.
Pulls out the like holographic display and starts flicking through. Yeah. I got my glasses just for this situation.
Yeah, shut up, Data.
I would say Jarvis.
I came up with Satoshi-kun's family circumstances. You'd say Jarvis,
I called Jarvis to like show us the
even
data.
though it says data right
Oh,
here.
shush you. We don't need data in this. Get Star Trek out of here. That's a different
Why
show.
would we get Star Trek out of here?
Because it's a bunch of nerd crap. You know?
You're right.
It's the sort of show Satoshi would watch.
You know, this is a massive non sequitur, but it just reminded me. Is non sequitur even the right term for this? I don't think it is. I think I've just completely abused it because it was on the mind.
Tangent.
Tangent.
Tangent is a good word.
So you know, Past Lemon. Sorry, Post
What?
Malone.
Post What? No, I don't actually. What are you talking about?
He's like one of the biggest rappers in the world right now. And,
okay.
You know, because I work on radio, we're dealing with like that ballpark of music. And I broached the news to the production team at the studio today that Post Malone originally moved to Los Angeles because he was friends with a bunch of Minecraft YouTubers who moved there at the same time.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true.
That's great.
The first time I ever saw him was like on a Minecraft stream that a mutual friend of ours was watching when I went over to their place. But everyone's just like, what?
Yeah, that's such a non sequitur.
Is it though?
I don't know.
I feel like I should know how to use that term effectively.
I feel like a lot of the English language is just words that we think sound good, but we don't actually know what they mean. It's like 90% of what I say. Let's be
that's
real.
definitely true. I think like most of the time, people will just like hand wave it. On the show, people are a bit more picky about it because they're like, what was this thing you just said?
Well, the problem with the show is that people can literally just like go back 10 seconds and hear us all the silly things we say whenever we confuse Ernie with a character
Whoever
that is
that
not on
orange-haired
Sesame Street.
one.
Whoever it was supposed to be. Miss Piggy, who knows? Who even knows? Point is, y'all nitpickers, and I love it. Never change.
He lost his parents in an accident a year ago. Since then, he's been having a tough time at his uncle's home. So you invited him so that he could vent.
Sports are great. You can free yourself to exercise. I thought that as long as he concentrated on something else, he could forget about his troubles at home.
You know, he's usually sort of a daydreamer, zoning out all the time. Is he still stressed?
Is he stressed? Is he stressed?
I knew Satoshi-kun must be suffering even though he didn't look like it. But Mion Sonozaki never pays attention to things like that, and I had to act like she does. I don't know if that's true, and I love that now that we're in Shion's first-person perspective, that we're getting the fact that they don't even know what the other twins like.
Well, that's the fun part, isn't it, of questioning how much of, Mion does Shion know, how much does Mion tell to other people. They haven't seen each other in years, how much of themselves has changed over that time. There's a lot of really cool kind of history that even though Shion is a native to Hinamizawa, she doesn't know what's going on. It's good stuff.
It's a lengthy pause.
We gotta wait at the suspense.
That's the tune.
Oh, there it is. Satoshi-kun got really sick after his uncle took him into his custody. He had many clinical symptoms, but the causes were unknown.
Satoshi-kun often got sick after he was taken into his uncle's custody. He suffered from fatigue and migraines. He suffered from a lack of energy and sleeplessness.
Oh no.
The coach, Dr. Irie, soon realized. Satoshi-kun was suffering from a psychological disorder known as Hinamizawa syndrome.
What? That's not relevant.
Most of the people in Hinamizawa knew how bad Satoshi-kun's environment was. It was natural for him to become sick because he entered that bad environment right after his parents' death.
Hojo-san cannot express himself freely. Whether it's crying or simply being agitated, he's not good at handling those emotions.
That's true. I can't imagine him being angry or crying.
Did you know Hojo-san's mother had been married a few times already?
Yeah. I know a little bit about that. Satoshi-kun's mother had married a number of men over the years. That meant Satoshi-kun had several stepfathers. He had to deal with strangers coming into his home multiple times, so he was forced to be mature.
Satoshi-kun is mentally underdeveloped. He isn't aware of it himself, though. He didn't have enough time to cry, laugh, and throw tantrums in his childhood. He was forced to become a grown-up in such a short time.
That doesn't sound right.
Children have to behave like children in order to grow. There's nothing positive about being forced to become an adult.
Not only was Satoko's current relationship with her aunt conspicuously terrible, I heard that her relationship with her previous stepfathers weren't good either. Satoko always caused problems, and Satoshi-kun would always step in to protect her.
I thought his physical symptoms came from the stress. His body was trying to warn him.
That's why Irie invited Satoshi-kun onto the baseball team. He told Satoshi that he needed a new member. So something like that.
He hesitated at first, but after I talked to him at the clinic a few times, he began to open up to me. First, I invited him to come see the practice. Then I suggested he try betting. I eased him into it.
Sports worked excellently for Satoshi-kun. His health quickly improved and he started to become interested in baseball. He practiced batting. He was soon able to swing beautifully and he learned how to see the trajectory of the ball. I can imagine that. He likes to read. So he must have read a book titled How to Play Baseball or something like that.
He's become a good batter very quickly. He's put forth a lot of effort. Though I wish he could actually hit when it comes to the wire too.
It's a weird transition.
That was a very weird, pop. I'm over here now. I'm teleporting.
I don't even know who's speaking.
I
feel like this is meant to be Shion, but Irie was the one that just appeared.
See. Yeah, it is Shion.
Yeah. Are you guys close?
I think so. He talks to me about his problems, so I guess that's a sign of trust.
I felt a bit jealous of how confidently Irie said that. While Satoshi-kun and I were friends, we weren't So close that we'd open up to each other like that.
It's me, right? Yeah.
Yes, it's
yeah,
you.
Okay.
It's also.
Sorry.
Can we just go up one tick?
Why?
Is this a case of Ryukashi repeating himself, but actually justified?
Yes, I trust. Wait. Are you jealous?
Scroll down a bit.
you-
You've scrolled up too far.
Have I?
Yeah. I was a bit jealous of how confidently Irie said that.
I see. Yeah. We should mention I have control of the clicker right
Yes.
now, which is
The
why
clicker.
I'm a
You
little
want?
bit
Is there not another word you would use for that?
No, this is the clicker. This is definitely what I would classify as the clicker. What I have right here.
We should throw a picture of that up. I was about to say we should throw that up on like social media, and I was like, wait, this is a video. I'm used to doing radio talk in this studio.
It's lovely. Oh, are you jealous?
Huh? About what? Taken aback, I blushed.
Oh, so cute.
Irie started laughing at me.
Please, stay as his good friend.
Well, yeah, I'm trying. I didn't know what I was saying.
Oh,
That's a very serious
serious
face.
now. You know, regarding Hojo-san, he seems a little sick again lately.
What?
What? Whack! Whack!
The ball flew to the left, but the left fielder managed to catch it. It seemed that their relationship between Satoko and her aunt had gotten worse lately. It was obvious his sickness had something to do with that.
The aunt is pulling Satoko-chan in a terrible way. She's become worn out after all that, and...
So, Satoshi-kun is also worn out and from covering for Satoko, isn't he? I wasn't interested in Satoko, so I switched the subject back to Satoshi-kun.
He's got a one-track mind, this guy.
Exactly. I didn't know much about Satoko. I knew that she was a big part of Satoshi-kun's life, but I'd never been interested in her until today. She must have been building up self-esteem and taking care of her unreliable brother. That was all I knew about her. I love how she's instantly projecting something onto Satoshi when we're like, more or less told the opposite, right?
For sure, yeah.
You know, obviously they're each given their own strength in the last couple of arcs, but we were very explicitly told that, like, Satoshi is the one that's, blocking all of the harm to Satoko as best he can. And, she's struggling now he's gone and trying to prove herself.
Yep, for sure.
But considering Satoshi-kun's personality, even that goofiness of his might have been an act. Maybe he was trying to make her feel good about herself by letting her take care of him. It's...
Yeah.
It's so... This would have been such a different scene if we hadn't had Tatari Higurashi first.
Yeah, for sure.
And I really like that about it.
Looking at where Satoko sits and, like, trying to figure out how she feels about her brother and, like, seeing where all that's come from it's kind of messed up.
Yeah, we raised it a bit in a few of the recaps so far, but I really do find it interesting how much more each arc stands on its own.
Yep.
And I feel that's going to disappear as we get further into the answer arcs, and I think this is maybe an example of, like, how that's going to start to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Where things would just be completely different in meaning.
Yep. I mean, this is something that Higurashi loves to do. He loves to recontextualize things, and this isn't always in sense of what's true and what's not true, but also in the ways that the characters perceive these relationships.
Yeah.
So think about the way that Shion sees, so she's having a hard time looking out for his sister, and now she's suffering all on her own. How does Shion feel about that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
When he's alone, he's surprisingly strong. I realized that only recently. So I couldn't help but think that his whole life is constantly affected by Satoko.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's a weird thought.
Satoshi-kun managed to get along with his stepfathers, even though he experienced some stress. He was even getting along with his aunt. But in order to protect Satoko, he always had to step in and suffer. I didn't really know anything about Satoko, but I had to admit I felt hostile towards her.
Haven't even met her yet. Already making judgments.
I know, it's great.
Oh dear.
I felt jealous because she was monopolizing.
That was her intent, right? That's what little sisters do. They monopolize you. They're leeches on society.
What a line. What a line.
Yeah. That's what I feel about my sister. She just, she lives with me. Like, why is she trying to take all my time living with me?
I know,
like,
it's just the worst.
It's almost like we live in the same house.
How dare parents monopolize her?
Also, the fact that Shion has only known Satoshi for like, what was it, a couple weeks?
Supposedly.
Yeah, instead of her whole life. It's great. It seems that their aunt has been tyrannizing Satoko-chan even more lately. That must be what's causing Satoshi-kun's sickness.
Irie heaved a sigh.
That's the sound it makes.
As he said, Satoshi-kun had been absent a few times lately. He seemed a bit tired, too. He looked normal when around everybody else, but he looked a bit depressed when he was alone. So you invited him to join the team to relieve his stress, didn't you? God, this has been a long conversation to just get that point across.
We've come back around.
I'd almost forgotten how this conversation got started.
I don't think it matters, but we're being reminded. That's the thing, right? We write this whole conversation to get all this exposition out there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're at the baseball game." So this conversation just happened between like the ball being launched and Satoshi presumably missing the ball.
It's like
right?
the full on anime soliloquy with like the close-ups, the angled camera.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, that's right.
But he looks stressed again now. How can we save him this time?
I don't know.
Irie smiled powerlessly. I couldn't help feeling a bit disappointed about that, because Satoshi couldn't put his trust in him.
Big oof. Music stopped.
Music stopped.
What's happening? Just between you and me.
Uh-huh.
Satoshi-kun recently told me that he wanted to leave the team. And that's when the ball gets hit, and there's like, and then the dong, and the ball goes off.
Yes, that sounds about right. And that's all been one pitch.
Yes, absolutely. And then the rest of it occurs in the second that he's running.
How come?
He claimed he was tired of it. That's what he said. But I believe he actually wants to spend more time with Satoko-chan. He thinks...
Oh, it's still speech.
Yes.
I saw the line break and was like, I'm ready.
Felix, how could you try and take my lines like that, you bum? How dare you?
I'm sorry.
You better be. He thinks that Satoko-chan might end up being tortured while he's at practice. I think he's concerned about that. That's messed up.
Dots. I was left speechless for a while.
That's messed up is the correct response.
I see. Satoko again.
Oh, damn.
It's just excellent. It's just
No!
It's excellent in how terrible it is.
It is.
Satoko. Why did Satoshi-kun have to sacrifice so much for her? Says the one who's had her sister change her entire schedule just so that she can live in the town she fucking wants.
It's great, isn't it? Cannibalizing someone else's life like that.
I know, it's
How
just the
dare
worst.
she?
How could she?
Yeah.
Just by ignoring her, his stress would melt away. No! Stop it, Shion.
This is great. Go, Shion, go.
Of course, I knew he couldn't do that. If that were the case, then the blame lay with his little sister.
Makes sense to me.
Oh, God. I knew how badly she'd been treated. But that only happened because she made things worse for herself. It was her fault that she couldn't establish a decent relationship with their aunt. If Satoko were more mature like Satoshi-kun, her home life wouldn't have gotten so bad. Satoshi-kun wouldn't have to suffer those indirect blows.
Damn.
It's like... It's so excellent. Going back to the whole point of like Ryukishi being a social worker in the past, this is obviously a case of like, these are arguments that he's heard in that role about these things, and he's trying to put them into a perspective where they like would fit normally and
like they make sense. Like we can follow Shion's thought process.
Yeah.
Especially judging by where Satoko ends up in a year's time. Not doing so great. But yeah, no, totally. I can imagine him sitting there and people are trying to like push blame onto each other. It's a bad family situation or whatever it is. And like, oh yeah, it was totally this person's fault. It's not my fault. It's not society's fault. You know, it's just because of this one person. And they're like, you know, if you take that person out of the equation, does it really fix anything? Maybe.
Probably not. In the meantime, the baseball team's practice match had become one-sided. It wasn't even worth watching anymore.
All because of Sadashi's poor batsmanship.
That's right. And also, as though she was paying any attention up to this point.
As though the first half was worth watching, correct.
Exactly. The members of the losing team were just goofing off.
Nice.
Refer to basketball team statement A.
Yeah.
The sky had turned cloudy too. It was depressing.
They got their phones out. They're having a good old time.
Phones in the 80s?
Yes.
Phones didn't exist in the 80s.
This is the first town to get them, dude. Haven't you been listening on the
of course,
tweeters?
because Keiichi died in a phone box, but that was like the first one ever installed in the world.
It's true. It's very true. Yeah, they've all crowded into phone box, so they're just on the pitch, you know? That's why they had them installed there. They're like, where's our target demographic going to be on Saturday? Is it going to be on the pitch playing baseball? That's right. That's where we got to get them.
That's what the pitcher stand is. They're just on top of the telephone booth, just pegging it down.
Yeah. So then when they're bored, they can just go in and have a call or two. You know? Call your mum.
Oi, Jerry, fang it here!
Tell them to go watch the game. Watch the game when Jerry's playing. He's a star player, you know.
It didn't look like it had rained soon, though. The grey sky hadn't brought along any cool air. It just felt disgusting. Irie became quiet. He was looking down around his feet. I, meanwhile, just stared at Satoshi-kun. To me, he didn't look active anymore. He was once able to enjoy playing baseball, and he felt fine. But he got sick again, just because the relationship between Satoko and her aunt had deteriorated. I couldn't help but say it.
Uh-oh.
The old, I'm just saying what everyone's thinking.
Yeah, everyone's thinking this. Every single person in the room, even Mion.
Yeah, all of Jakrano and Magic.
Yeah.
I'm a shaking my head.
We should definitely try.
I've got a terrible grin on my face, but I'm a shaking my head.
Do you think that we could get away with impersonating each other? Do you think that's something we could do?
What, me be you and you be me?
Yeah, so we can like switch up our schedules and stuff.
It'd be difficult.
I reckon we could do it. We just have to never show our faces.
Considering that most of my roles involve standing directly in front of people, you're in tough shit, son.
Damn. All you have to do is call people up. Nobody would know the difference. Impersonate me just fine.
Right, so when I kill you, I can take your place and no one will notice.
If you have the time, yes.
It's all right. I just get one of them Harry Potter time turner thingos.
Oh, okay.
Which apparently high school teachers just give out willy-nilly to whoever wants more time in class.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, they do time traveling powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're actually correct, actually. That was very irresponsible to just give out a time travel device. You could just make sure I was never born. What?
Yeah, the entire ending sequence of The Prisoner of Azkaban. Yeah. Just imagine if one of the evil characters had that power.
Yes, it relies on extreme negligence on the part of the staff of that academic institution.
That said, the entire plot of those books relies on that.
You're right. That is the entire premise of the Harry Potter world, is just that nobody really cares about due process. And when they do, they're the bad guy, usually.
There you go. Ben has just called me the bad guy of the Harry Potter franchise.
That's true. That is you.
Shouldn't we do something about Satoko instead?
Voldemort. What?
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 It was just a murmur, but Irie had definitely caught it. Is he about to get the scally face? Is he going to do it?
He's hoping. What do you mean, Sonozaki-san?
It's not that complicated. If Satoko was stronger, Satoshi-kun wouldn't have to deal with the stress.
Ooh. Oh. That hits you in the feels. Shout out to Satoko a year from now.
I think Satoko is the cause of everything. There we go. This is a serious face.
I don't know about that.
Also, is Satoko not part of the club at this point? Have I lost track of that?
Oh, I cannot recall. I mean, we haven't been to the club yet.
Yeah.
In this year, so maybe she is.
Because, I feel as though with everything that Shion is, portraying about what she knows about everyone, especially in that conversation where she asked Mion all of the things about Sadashi's, surely Satoko would have come up as like one of Mion's friends, right?
I guess it didn't. Like, they don't have a lot of time to chat during the day, I suppose. They only have that, like, nighttime period.
Still a bit strange. I do wonder whether that means like Satoko hasn't like joined that circle of friends yet.
I think she has, but I guess we'll find out at some point, hopefully.
Yes, you do. If she didn't cause any trouble, he wouldn't have to step in, would he? He wouldn't have to take over in the fight between Satoko and her aunt, right? Sadashi never got scared of any trouble. No matter how formidable the enemy, he'd bravely stand up to protect the weak. Man, remember that time in the alley where Mion was fucking Shion was like, oh man, he must have stood over there thinking about it for such a long time.
Well, this is the fun part, isn't it? Watching her like perception of Sadashi changing and like picking and choosing details. It's fantastic.
Here we see embodied the difference between love and infatuation.
It's great. I also want to say shout out to this track. Holy crap. It's beautiful. This is beautiful. Oh, I love that piano track. It kills me.
Is it another Dai one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, most of it's Dai. I assume it's all Dai, honestly. Yeah. In the soundtrack, there are like 2 separate like CDs or sides. I know that the first half at least is Dai, and I believe I think it's actually part of the second half. But anyway, point is, I'm going to assume it's Dai. And if I'm wrong, just tell me in the comments, because I don't know who else even would have worked on this. Yeah. It's a good one. It's a good one.
I knew that because I could vividly imagine it.
There you go.
Keyword imagine. Oh!
There he goes.
I'm sorry, I peeked the fuck out of the microphone just right there. It's a good thing we have these professional radio limiters.
It's true. It's helpful.
Whenever they're on Chide Satoko, Sadashi steps in to protect her. The aunt probably didn't like it. Though Sadashi didn't have to fight, the aunt would attack him anyway. The fight would then be between the aunt and him. Satoko might then tease the aunt by sticking out her tongue, hiding behind his back, and pretending to be scared.
Pretending.
She'd never think about how deeply he was being hurt. Because of Satoko, Sadashi had become cornered and stressed.
Here he's got that what the fuck are you going on about look.
I know.
Like, what?
Deservedly so.
I'm surprised to hear this from you, Sonozaki-san. I thought you were Satoko-chan's friend.
There we go.
Her classmates. A big sister kind of figure. I thought you'd always be on her side. But what you've said is surprising to me.
Next thing you'll find out is that they're actually different people.
Mm-hmm.
Irie looked at me suspiciously. I could tell what he was thinking about me.
Oh no.
I'd said too much.
It's gonna ruin Mion's reputation. At this rate.
Mion Sonozaki and Sadako Hojo are friends. They're close, so Mion should have been encouraging her after the situation at home got tougher. That's what Mion was supposed to do. I'd totally forgotten about that and spoken as myself. It's only natural, oh, there it is, that Irie would give me a suspicious look. He might end up changing his impression of Mion Sonozaki entirely.
But I thought they were the same because they're twins and they do everything together.
Oh my goodness, you're telling me
they can just
that's
seamlessly slot into each other's lives.
This is absurd.
It's crazy
Absolute
that's
nonsense.
like a theme that we're exploring here.
I'd have to apologize to her about this and ask her to put things right. I totally messed up.
Apologize to Mion or Sadako? Because both
Even
could
so,
use one.
I didn't think I'd said anything wrong. I'd objectively looked at the situation and made a modest proposal. To be honest, I was simply afraid that he might leave the team. I couldn't go to the school in Hinamizawa, so the baseball field was the only place where I could see him. I could even say that he was my reason for living. That's right. I was in love with him. But I wasn't going to tell him how I felt. For I was satisfied just being by his side.
Girl, you gotta tell that man how you feel.
I certainly couldn't ask for anything more. After all, I couldn't reveal my true identity. I had to pretend to be Mion in order to live in Ikinomiya. I thought that maybe I should leave Ikinomiya in order to be free. But that's stupid. No matter how tough my life might be, I Prefer to be here, with Satoshi-kun stroking my head every now and then. Why did I love him that much? I read about it in some manga once. You really don't need a reason to be in love. I was surprised at myself for being like this. Calm down. Shion. I breathed out slowly, then held my breath, trying to slow my throbbing heart. I felt a bit calmer. At that point, a clear thought came into my head. I want to be with Satoshi-kun. So, I want him to stay on the team. So, I want to get rid of his concerns and his stress. So what? So, what can I do to achieve all that? My head started to cool down as I heard the umpire shout.
Game, set, and match.
That was an excellent chapter.
It
was. That was properly excellent.
I really felt that right in my heart bones. I haven't felt that since Arc 1, I think. Yeah. Shion's in one of those tragic romantic situations.
Ben's got his little soft eyes.
I have. I mean, this is you.
Some days I see him, some days I don't. The clear sky gets cloudy and rain will stop eventually. I thought his absence was just like that, but he was actually on the verge of a breakdown.
That doesn't sound promising.
I think I'm still not at a point where I've properly connected with these characters.
Yeah.
But I think that the elegance with which their relationships is being portrayed is definitely growing in leaps and bounds at this point.
I think the thing that I really appreciate about the Shion Satoshi thing, love story, if you can call it that, is that there is a very clear tragedy. I don't know why, but on this read through, I didn't really feel it as much in Arc 3, the tragedy of Satoko. It's there and I appreciate it, but I didn't feel it in my heart bones. I think that not just, having any foreknowledge I might have, but we already know that Satoshi disappears. We know that Shion's love here is doomed to fail in one way or another. She knows that for different reasons, but she knows that she can't really have a proper relationship because she's not even supposed to exist. And that is something that I think everyone can relate to, that feeling of I'm she can't even be Shion outside of her own living quarters. She has to be me on. She can't express who she is, that sort of thing. And Satoshi doesn't know that. I don't know. I just really feel the tragedy of this love story in a really big, powerful way.
Yeah, I think the other thing about the way that this is portrayed is going back to what I was saying in the Arc 2 recap about the way that people want to be seen versus actual romance stories. This is clearly the other side of that coin. This is where, rather than wanting to be seen for who they are as a strong individual, here Shion feels like she can't have a strong relationship with someone else.
Yeah.
And we've kind of we've explored both sides of the same coin through Arc 2 and this.
Yeah.
And I really like the way that that's done that.
Yeah, I suppose a better way of phrasing what I was stumbling over earlier is that we're being, Shion says, I have this certainty in my mind that I can't have a strong relationship with Satoshi, and we as the readers already know that that's not going to happen. It is a doom. And I love dooms. I love dooms in storytelling because it puts a definite cap on something, and watching writers kind of play with the in-between time. If you say, I know the White Walkers are going to come, or I know that Satoshi is going to disappear or whatever in I don't know, a month's time. We know that there is an endpoint. We know that something bad is going to happen. And watching Higurashi explore that space in between, I think is really compelling. With this constant threat, this inevitable threat hanging over our heads.
I think we'll also discuss this a bit more in the recap, just because I want to kind of see how it plays out over the course of the arc. But my initial impressions of this arc so far have been that this arc makes a very good case for why flashbacks in storytelling, or rather how flashbacks in storytelling can be used incredibly effectively.
Yes.
This entire sequence would have meant so much less if we hadn't had it framed as a flashback after Tatari Hiroshi and after Watanagashi or Watanagashi. So this is proper good. I'm enjoying this a lot.
There is a production diary that, again, I'll probably set up for the recap to go over it and really talk about it. But Higurashi was definitely trying to figure out how he wanted to portray this, because so many people were like, Shion, give us Shion. He was like, sure, why not? He wasn't really sure whether he wanted to do a flashback or not. I'm really glad that he did, though. I'm really glad that this is what we got. I think it's really powerful and really... It's very different from all the other arcs, which I really appreciate. Going into the answer arcs, which is the best part of the story. Anyway.
I'm ready.
See you in the next time.